And welcome to the resumption of Season 2 of the Hometown Football League here on the Big Polly's World of Sports Sims channel. And I am Big Polly. Thank you for your patience and thank you for your understanding. I have not been doing my YouTube channel, the Big Polly's World of Sports Sims channel, for about 3 months now due to my mother falling ill and myself falling ill. If you haven't seen any of the videos I have been doing recently, I'll just briefly mention I have diabetes now, and I went to the hospital thinking I had COVID, and I had a toe amputation and some bone off my right foot. But let's talk some happier things. And this is going to be the resumption of the Hometown Football League as I set my display capture up. We are going to pick up where we left off back in September. The date I'm recording this is January 10th, 2022. It's the night of the national championship game, so I'm trying to get this done a little early so some of you could see it. And if you're interested in watch this, and if the national title game between Alabama and Georgia gets a little blowout ski, then you could watch this instead. Our game is going to be Seattle and New York. The Seahawks and the combination of the Giants, Jets, Brooklyn Dodgers, New York Titans, and New York Yankees, kind of a conglomeration of the New York franchises. They did well last year. They made the Final Four of the HTFL, but they lost to Baltimore. Baltimore then lost to Season 1 champion San Francisco. They have Y.A. Tittle, New York does, on this New York squad. So let's get to it. Seattle and New York. We will do the recap of the Sunday games. The plan is to do 5 games a week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we will do a recap of the Sunday games before we do the Monday game. So let's get to it here. Seattle, a 13-point underdog, which I think would be a little high. We're playing in September because that's where we left the season. It's at MetLife Stadium at East Rutherford, New Jersey. Sunny skies, but a brisk wind of 10 to 20 mile per hour. No precipitation, and New York the favorite. We use the home field advantage, which will be favoring New York because they're at home. Computer sets the roster, and on we go. Of course, in real life, Russell Wilson may have played his last downs for Pete Carroll. There was no coaching shakeup today. The end of the regular season was yesterday in real life, and the Bears, Vikings, Dolphins, and the Broncos all decided they will be changing coaches soon. So you got Y.A. Tittle and Russell Wilson, your quarterbacks. The coin toss goes the way of Seattle. I play as the home team, which is New York. They are in blue, and they will be kicking deep. And we'll tell you who the kickoff guy was in just a moment. There's your kickoff. Did not go to the goal line. Block it straight ahead for 27 yards before Brad Van Pelt gets him. So here's your lineups offensively for Seattle. Alexander and John L. Williams are your running backs. Jerry Rice is one of the wide receivers because Jerry Rice at one point played for Seattle. He is joined at the wide receiver position by Steve Largent. Carlson is your tight end, Wilson quarterbacking. And the offensive line is Jones, Hutchinson, Unger, Kendall, and Heck. The left side of the offensive line should be strong. Jones and Hutchinson are both 10s. So I usually play as the home team, but I usually let the computer play defense unless it's something very obvious. And Wilson back to throw. He finds Largent. Largent is wide open, going to the 30 to the 20 to the 10, and one play and one score for Seattle. That went 70 yards. And they haven't even gotten the ball to Jerry Rice yet. How do you do? And it's 6-0 Seattle. Point after is good by Josh Brown, and the Seahawks take a very quick 7-0 lead. Still 22 seconds is all that has gone by in this first quarter. So the Giants will get the ball. Christie, Sanders, and Glenn back deep. And they're going to return it a yard deep in the end zone. And that was, I think that was Christie. And he moved it out to the 21-yard line. We didn't even set the New York defense. We will try to do so on the next possession. The offensive starters for New York: Tiki Barber, Mel Triplett are your running backs. Beckham Jr., Odell Beckham, and Art Powell, who played for the Titans back in the early 60s. Those are your wideouts in the base formation. Tucker at tight end. Tittle, your quarterback. The line is Brown, Snee, Mangold, Younce, and Powell. Younce will probably double as the punter. Brown and Mangold are both 10s. So we'll give it to Tiki Barber. Good run blockers in for New York. And he picks up 5 yards right away to set up a 2nd and 5. Defensively for Seattle, it's Green and Sinclair, your defensive ends. Kennedy and Nash are your defensive tackles. The linebacker core is Brown, Wagner, and Wright. Sherman, Brown, Easley, Robinson are your defensive backs. You got 3 10s for Seattle: Bobby Wagner, Sherman, and Kenny Easley. So on 2nd and 5, we'll look to Triplett here on a screen. Tittle cannot find Triplett. It's an incomplete pass, setting up 3rd and 5. Sauer will enter the game at wideout. He will wear number 83. As I taped this on January 10th, we learned that Don Maynard passed away. You will probably see him at some point in this game. Medium crossing route to Powell. It's caught instead by Beckham. Tittle went to Beckham, and Beckham points forward to indicate the first down, and not like the referees don't do that. And it's 1st and 10, New York at their own 34, 66 yards from the end zone. Tiki on a dive, and he will gain 2 yards before Sinclair gets him. 12:38 left in the opening quarter, and the Giants trail 7-0. And we're going to go back to Barber, pitch right, try to establish the running game. And Barber did a little better that time, 6 yards, and it'll be 3rd and 2. Go to a double tight end set. We're going to play action, short pass it to Beckham. See if he can bend one. No, it's incomplete. Tittle kind of led Beckham there, and that was outside the grasp of Beckham, Odell Beckham Jr. out of LSU. That sets up a 4th and 2, and Younce will be kicking into the wind. Lockett makes the fair catch at the 15. So Seattle goes back to work, 10:56 left in the opening quarter, and Seattle up 7-0. You notice that all the computer teams, and you might have noticed this the first week when we did that back in September, they play that shotgun double running back, double wide receiver set. For some reason, that's kind of what the computer does with all of these teams. So we will just honor that. I will use different formations than the computer does. So it's 1st and 10. Let's see what Russell Wilson does. I know there's some rumors out there Wilson might be with another NFL team in 2022. We'll see about that. Gain of 2 yards, or they may make a coaching change and send Pete Carroll on his merry way. 2-yard gain for John L. Lewis made the tackle at the 17. Let's set up the defense for New York, since we did not have the opportunity the first possession to do it. New York's the only team in the HTFL that plays a 3-4, because that was the great defense of Bill Parcells. Strahan, Gastineau, Weinmeister are your front 3. The 4 linebackers, Taylor, Huff, Carson, and Lewis. Rivas, Glenn, Patton, and Tannell are your defensive secondary. You got a whole bunch of 10s on the New York defense: Strahan, Of course, he is, since I have last done these games, gone into space on the Blue Origin rocket out of Texas. Gastineau on the flight after William Shatner made his famous flight. Taylor, Huff, Revis. You got 6 10s on the New York defense. Revis and Patton are all 10s. 2nd and 8, ball at the 17. It's Wilson back to throw, and it is caught by Carlson, and he gained 11 yards. Just had a little spaghetti before I came on and started doing this game. So that's why I was gurgling my voice a little bit. Game of 11. Patton on the tackle for the Giants, who look a little lethargic, but we still have a long way to go. 10:04 left first quarter. It's Wilson handing off, and it was to John L. Hit by Strahan, and Strahan holds Williams to no gain. This sets up a 2nd and 10, the ball at the 28. Fourth play of the drive for Seattle. That is thrown and caught by Largent, who had the big play earlier in the game. And now he is at two catches for 82 yards. A gain of 12 there, moved the chains, a first down for Seattle at the New York 40. They are going with the wind, so perhaps this is going to be an advantage for them. But then they'll get it back in the fourth quarter. The Giants will have the win for quarters 2 and 3. 1st and 10. Here is the throw complete to Jerry Rice. And that's good for 14 yards. So they finally go to Jerry, and Jerry puts the Seahawks into Giant territory. Of course, this would have been around the time, second week of the season, that they would hold the U.S. Open tennis tournament in Queens, New York, the borough of Queens. And the tournament was known for many years to be a bit tricky because of the wind that would occasionally blow in the summer, late summer in New York City metropolitan area. 1st and 10 at the Giants 46. We have 7:55 now left, opening quarter. And on that play, Wilson ran for a yard, setting up 2nd and 9 from the 45. 7:10 left now. It's Williams. No, I'm sorry, it is not Williams. It's Alexander, and it looked like he might have stumbled. There was nobody in his general area, but he lost 2 yards. And now the Giants, with a chance to get off the field, it's 3rd and 11 from the 47 of New York. Wilson with time. Incomplete.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 24. Automatic. First down.
But they throw a hanky on Rivas. He is called for defensive pass interference, and that's going to give Seattle an automatic first at the New York 38. So the Giants, a little slow out of the chute here, but still a long way to go, as I was saying earlier. And that's a fumble by Alexander.
Is under review.
They're reviewing it. Stand by.
The ruling on the field stands.
And New York catches the first break of the game. Patton with a fumble recovery. Giants ball at the 33. So Seattle gained 113 points, but they had nothing to show for it on that possession. And the Giants will take over a 1st and 10. They'll go back to Barber. Giants want to run the ball right down Seattle's throat. And this is Barber. He'll be close to first down yardage, a pickup of 9. 2nd and 1. And I think here's where we're going to mix it up a little bit. Long play action pass to Powell will be the attempted play. There's the throw, incomplete. Setting up 3rd and a yard. And we are going to go trap right with Tiki Barber on 3rd and a yard. Try to get the first. It's going to be close. He gets it. Pickup of 3. And it's 1st and 10 at the 45. 4:48 now left opening quarter. It's 7-0. Barber now has 5 carries for 25 yards. And we're going to go to Mel Triplet Off tackle right to give Barber a little bit of a rest. Gain of 6.
Offsides, defense. Number 96, 5-yard penalty.
And we will accept the penalty. Instead of 2nd and 4, it'll be 1st and 5. Play action medium slant to Odell here. It's Tittle. It's Beckham, and it's a first down. Pick up a 15. Beckham was actually double covered, and the throw beats the double team. 1st and 10 at the 35. And we will go pitch right with Tiki Barber. Gain of 5 yards. By the way, let me promote a podcast that I have been listening to. Some of you may like, if you like the HTFL. This Week in Pro Football podcast, TWIPF podcast, takes a look at the This Week in Pro Football syndicated show that aired in the 70s. That was hosted by Pat Summerall and Tom Brookshire. And the two men that are the hosts on the podcast have seemed to have a good time dissecting the film of each week. And this week they just released week 9 of 1970. So check that out if you are a fan of the old This Week in Pro Football series that NFL Films used to do. Sweep right, Tiki Barber. We are not going to audible since we don't know what coverage Seattle is playing. Here's Barber, and he gets 19 yards to the Seattle 11. So Barber now at 7 carries and 49 yards. So go into your podcast engine of choice if you have a smartphone and look for TWIPF podcast if you want to listen to that. The episodes are about 45 minutes in length or so. And now we're going to go triplet on a dive on 1st and 10. And triplet will pick up 2 yards, setting up a 2nd and 8 from the 9. Powell can play tight end and wide receiver. We're going to go to Shockey. Jeremy Shockey enters the game. We're going to try to go to him on a crossing route. He's got it, and he's got 6. Touchdown, Giants. And they cut the deficit to 7-6. By the way, if you are unfamiliar with the HTFL, we do the normal, conventional extra points like you see in college football. None of this kicking from the 15 business. We have 1 challenge per team. All scores and turnovers are looked at, as you saw earlier with the instance where the Giants got the ball. It was a 9-play, 67-yard drive, which took up almost all the time, say 51 seconds, on the first quarter clock. Extra point attempt is good by not Ted Nugent, but Mike Nugent. Ted Nugent, listen to me. And the score is tied at 7-7. 51 seconds left, opening quarter. Lockett will not get it. It was somebody else who got the play, and it was Robinson who gained 44 yards. Nicely done from the goal line to the 44. And Nugent did kick off. To answer the question I asked at the start of the game, who's kicking off for New York? Because sometimes it's different. Sometimes in this game you'll have a different kickoff man. Then you would have doing extra points, and you could have a guy doing extra points that's different from the guy who kicks the field goals. Action PC Football 2021 kind of changed some of that this year. So you have different guys. You could have 3 different guys kicking. 1st and 10 at the 44 for Seattle. Could be the last play of the first quarter. And Alexander gains 4 yards. They might get another play in. It'll be 2nd and 6 from the Seattle side of the field, the 48-yard line. No, they do run out of time, and that's the end of the first quarter with the score. Seattle 7 and New York 7. Our game tomorrow night will be Pittsburgh at Green Bay. We had these 2 teams in Season 1, and Jim Taylor ran wild in that one. So let's go over the stats real fast. 117 net yards for Seattle, 83 for New York. Russell Wilson has been perfect, 5 for 5, 112 yards and a touchdown. They have not been doing well running the ball, 5 carries and 5 yards. New York, 8 carries for 51 yards, with Barber leading the way with 7 for 49. And passing the ball, they haven't been too successful, 3 for 6, 32 yards. But they did get a touchdown to Jeremy Shockey. 2nd and 6 at the 48 as we start the second quarter. And this is Williams gaining 4 yards. Sam Huff in his violent world. We just lost Sam Huff not too long ago, a couple months back. He makes the tackle in real life, and it's a gain of 4. 3rd and 2 now at the New York 48, MetLife Stadium. New York now has the win advantage, which will help their passing game a bit, I would think. Screen pass, Alexander, he'll get the first down. Harry Carson makes the tackle. It's a gain of 6 yards. Both teams started their season way back when I did these first round of games three months ago. They both started with losses, so they each come in 0-1. 1st and 10, ball to 42 of the Giants. Wilson hangs on to it, was looking for Jerry Rice, but he was double covered, and the pass falls incomplete. First incompletion for Russell Wilson in this game. He's now 6 for 7. 2nd and 10 at the 42. It's Wilson. Now he's got 2 incompletions in a row as he was trying to force that into Williams, but it falls incomplete again. 3rd and 10 now for New York. I get this little piece of spaghetti out of my mouth. Ball to 42. It's Wilson in the gun. Throws. Incomplete. He was looking for Carlson there, but not to be. So Wilson, who started out 6 for 6, went 0 for 3 on those last 3 plays. I'm going to let the punt roll. I don't think they would fake it here. And the ball falls at the 3-yard line. No, let it roll on my orders. So we'll go double tight end, and we're going to give it to Barber. I don't think that'd be any surprise to Seattle, but they have to execute here. And we still have the lack of animation on the right end zone. Barber gained 4 yards, out to the 7, pick up a 4. Barber now 8 carries, 53 yards. He's more than halfway to 100, and we're very early in quarter number 2. Triplett will get this one, trap right. Gained a few yards. They call it a gain of 2. 3rd and 4 for New York. New York's going to play it close to the vest, and they're going to short cross it to Art Powell. Pass incomplete. As Seattle saw that coming, and they put a bunch of defensive backs in the backfield. Tittle is now 3 for 7. Younts will come in to punt. And when he punts deep, his average is 52.3 with the wind at his back. And this was a booming punt. Went 53 yards. Lockett caught it at the 38, moved it up 3 yards to the 41. So Seattle gets the ball back again. 7-7. Time of possession right now, it actually favors New York by a little bit, but it seemed to me like Seattle has held the ball the better part of forever. A 1st and 10 at the 41. Wilson was looking for John L, it looked like, and he threw it away. Wilson threw it away. New York was crying for intentional grounding, but not the case here. 2nd and 10, the ball resting at the Seattle 41-yard line. 7-7 is the score, second quarter. Out in the flat is Alexander, and he gains 8 yards. And the ball moves out to the 49. Patton on the tackle again for the Giants. 3rd and 2, and a marker.
False start. Offense. Number 71, 5-yard penalty.
They get Jones for a false start, and that's going to make things a little tougher for Seattle. It'll be 3rd and 7. Wilson finds Williams, and that's a gain of 9. First down for Seattle. It's really taken the battle here to the Giants, who were heavily favored by Las Vegas, and I don't mean the Raiders, before this game. 1st and 10 now at the Giant 47. It's a pitch to Alexander, who gains 1 yard, loses a yard actually. Lewis on the tackle for New York. 9:28 to go now. 2nd and 11. Wilson, incomplete. He just threw that one away, although it looked a little closer than that. 3rd and 11, ball at the 48. Pass is caught by Carlson. He got just enough for the first down, moving it to the Giants 37. And it's a 1st and 10 from there with 8:34 left now in the opening half. Looking for Carlson, but incomplete. Lawrence Taylor, LT, broke that up. 2nd and 10 at the 37. He was just in the news recently for unfortunate reasons. Incomplete. 3rd and 10. Ball at the 37. I don't want to go into the reasons. If you're curious, look it up. Wilson runs, gets the first. A gain of 11 when they needed 10. Nicely done for Russell. 1st and 10. The ball at the 26. Wilson is now 9 for 16, 146 yards, but can always run. Can always make some key runs. Best receiver so far, Largent, 2 catches, 82 yards. Wouldn't be surprised if they try to get it to Largent here. 1st and 10. They give it to Alexander. That 37 looked like a 32 to my eyes. And that's a gain of 8. 2nd and 2. The ball at the New York 18. See what they do here. They go to the eye. Pitch to Williams this time. And there's no gain there. It was Sam Huff making the tackle for the Giants. 3rd and 2. 6:09 to go. 18-yard line is where the ball rested on the start of this play. And that is Alexander. And again, Seattle converts on the 3rd down. On 3rd downs, they are 6 for 7. Kind of looking like the Chargers last night when they were making all those 4th downs. And got back in the game with the Raiders before the Raiders beat them in overtime, 35-32 to make the playoffs. And of course, if the game had ended in a tie, then Pittsburgh would not have made the playoffs, and both teams playing would have made the playoffs. Interesting. 1st and 10 at the 12. Wilson's going to take off, and he's got another first down. He went all the way to the 1 before Patton could get to him. Let's profile Mr. Patton, Jimmy Patton, out of Mississippi. Also return some punts if called upon to do so. So Seattle knocking on the door here. 1st and goal at the 1. A 13-play, 58-yard drive that so far has taken up 6 minutes and 43 seconds. Alexander, yes, touchdown, Seattle.
The previous play is under review.
Oh, they're looking at it. Stand by.
Upon further review, the runner was stopped short of the end zone.
And there you go. They rule that Alexander was tackled before reaching the goal line. So here we go again. 2nd and goal, inches shy of the goal line. Wilson, incomplete. Was looking for Largent there. Surprised they didn't just try to pound that rock in there and get the touchdown that way. But Seattle has a history of doing that. If you'll recall Super Bowl 49, when they were on the 1-yard line, could have won the game against the Patriots, and they threw that interception instead of giving the ball to Marshawn Lynch. 3rd and goal. And this time, Alexander.
The previous play is under review.
He might have been stopped short again.
Upon further review, the runner was stopped short of the end zone.
Well, there you go. They're knocking on the door, but they cannot score. 4th and goal. Seattle will go for the score. This will be the 17th play of the drive. And the drive will end one way or another right here. 4th and goal. Alexander, touchdown. And this time it sticks. No replay. So Sean Alexander on his 7th carry gets 6. And Seattle is up 13-7. What a drive by Seattle. 17 plays, 59 yards. Those are the drives that could be backbreakers eventually. Josh Brown with a point after. And it's 14-7. 3:26 now left in the half. Christie, Sanders, and Glenn all back. And it's going to go Christie's way. Past the 20, out to the 22. First and 10 for the Giants. We're going to go right back to Tiki Barber. Should be well rested by now, and he picks up 6. Wright making the tackle to set up a 2nd and 4. We'll go 3 wide with 3:07 left. We're going to go medium cross to Bob Tucker. Incomplete. Instead, Tittle went Tittle to Beckham and could not find him. We're going to go 3 wide and screen it to Barber on 3rd down. Tittle not having an exceptional day throwing the ball until there. Barber to the 40, to the 30, to the 20, to the 10, and he finds pay dirt. Touchdown, Giants. That went 70 yards, which was the same distance of Wilson strode to Largent on the first offensive play of the game. So now it's 14-13. Nugent will attempt the point after, which he gets, and we are tied at 14 all. With 2:01 now left in the opening half. So the Giants with a quick strike to answer Seattle's on the first play of the game. Nugent kicking off to Lockett. Wilson and Robertson can also wind up getting the ball. And this is going to be a touchback with New York kicking with the wind. We can get one play in before the 2-minute warning. Score is tied at 14 all. In HTFL, when the ball is kicked into the end zone for a touchback, it goes to the 20, not the 25, as the NFL currently does it. So let's see what the Seahawks do. Throw to Williams. John L. out of the University of Florida picks up 2 yards, and we reach the 2-minute warning. We are dead even at 14-14. Yardage is 193 for Seattle and 165 for New York. By the way, we lower the penalty probabilities in this game. I should point that out. So these games do not turn into penalty fests. 2nd and 8, the ball at the 22. Here comes Seattle. Minute 52 on the clock. The throw complete to John L. Williams, past the 40 to the 50 and into Giant territory. And that puts it at 45. Giants are not going to help them by calling timeout. Seattle does. They have 2 remaining and their challenge. And the Giants have all 3 timeouts left. And they have their challenge remaining. Wilson, that's to Carlson. He gets out of bounds, pick up a 6 yards, stopping the clock at $1:32. 2nd and 4 at the 39. So Seattle on the march again. They have not been able to stop Russell Wilson with any great degree of success. Gain of 2 yards. I am not calling timeout, but Seattle will call timeout. 3rd and 2 from the 37. $1:29 now. Screen to Williams. He'll get the first down. He'll get out of bounds. Gain of 9. And we're down to a minute 17. It's a 1st and 10 from the New York 28. Wilson now 15-23. He's halfway to 400. 204 yards and a touchdown. Wilson finds Williams again. He's becoming a favorite target. He went 7 for 69 in the game against Las Vegas last week, which was actually 3 months ago. And the Seattle call time, yes, they have run out of timeouts. How many catches have Williams? Has 5 catches for 63. Largent leading in yardage, 2 for 82. First and 10 at the 18 of the Giants. The throw is going to be caught, and that is Jerry Rice, who Seattle picked up from San Francisco in the player draft, because Seattle finished way back in the pack, and San Francisco won the championship. So any team could have acquired any player they wanted from San Francisco, and provided that they played with that team. And Seattle did have Jerry Rice at one point, once upon a time, and it is 20-14. Here comes the extra point for Brown. And this has been a very entertaining football game so far. We have 52 seconds left, opening half, 21-14. And we go back to New York now. Christie catches it, went right to him, and a gain of 19 to the 27. Now they have all their timeouts, and they could do something here, and they would get the ball to start the second half. So they could do a twofer here. We're going to slant it to Art Powell. Seattle in a nickel, but we're still going to try to get it in there. It's caught by Tucker. And Tucker gained 10 yards. Will burn a timeout with 37 seconds to go. Tittle is 5 of 10, 112 yards. We've really been focusing on trying to pound the rock here, which is what John Gruden used to say back in the days when he took the Bucks to the Super Bowl. We're going to go medium fly to Art Powell, first and 10 at the 37. See if we can get some points here. That's a gain of 7 yards, but he did not get out of bounds. So now Tittle's going to have to use the sidelines. It'll be a 2nd and 3 at the 44. And we're going to go medium out to George Sauer. Incomplete. 3rd and 3. Short out to Odell Beckham. Got to get the first down yardage here. Beckham caught it, but he did not get out of bounds. Oh, he did. He did. The animation is incorrect. He did get out of bounds. So there's 18 seconds left. Ball is at the Seattle 44 for a 1st and 10 play. Now you could burn a timeout if you need to. And we're going to go long fly to Beckham. See if we can beat him deep. Beckham's wide open. He catches it for 24 yards. And we got to call timeout here with 8 seconds to go. The way the timing mechanism works in action PC football, 8 seconds might be enough time. Might not be enough time to get 2 plays in. So Nugent comes on. And let me double check and make sure we have a long snapper here. So stand by a moment. I know Uncle Ron was mentioning this on one of the podcasts, that you should probably check and be sure. Do we have Mawai or Fields? Yes, we do. Okay, so I'm going to try to check that as we progress through some of these games. So Mawai is in there as a long snapper. Nugent's got about a 3 and 4 chance of hitting this field goal, which would be from 37 yards. And it's right down the middle, cutting the score to 21-17, and we have 4 seconds left in the half. Squib it, baby. Oh, it's a poor squib. And Wilson ran it back 9 yards to the 47. Fortunately, that was the last play of the first half, with the Seahawks leading the Giants 21-17. And I'll come back on camera here for a moment. It's been a good game. It's been a very good game so far. Back and forth action between Seattle and the Giants. I think everybody is a little surprised that Seattle is really sticking it to New York. Having water, by the way. In the first half. 271 total yards for Seattle, 218 for New York. So we've had 489 yards of total offense, which is usually indicative of a shootout. So let's get back to the action and bring you half number two. Giants will get the ball first unless there's a turnover on the kickoff. Christie, Sanders, Glenn, again back deep. They go to Christie, and Christie with a nice return into Seattle territory, 58 yards. Blackman finally caught up to Christie, and the Giants are going to be in good shape at the 34. And I think Tittle wants to do some throwing here. Medium fly to Powell, 1st and 10. And Powell is there. It's going to be down to the 10. Sean Springs on the tackle for Seattle. And Seattle could be a victim to a quick score again. Tiki Barber off tackle right. And he will gain 5 yards to the New York 5. Now the Giants will go double tight end. And they are going to look. Sweep left to Tiki. And Barber is in, almost untouched. Touchdown, and the Giants take the lead. Of course, Tiki played at Virginia along with his twin brother Rondé Barber, who Bucks fans know full well. And a point after by Nugent. And New York has a stranglehold on the lead.
Defense. 5-yard penalty.
Wagner got caught offside, so the Giants will be kicking from the 40 instead of the 35. 13:07 left in quarter number 3. Giants now up 24-21. Here's the kick, and nobody is surprised it goes out of the end zone. Touchback. That strong wind behind Nugent. And Seattle gets the ball 1st and 10 at the 20. Pitch to Alexander. Alexander can find no room. 3-yard loss. Harry Carson making the tackle. And it is 2nd and 13. Ball now at the 17. This is to Alexander. He gains those yardage back and a couple more. 5 yards. Moving it out to the 22 for a 3rd and 8. Giants thinking pass. Goes to Alexander. There was a fumble, but Largent was Johnny on the spot. He pounces on it. Seahawks were well short of the first down. They needed 8, and they only got 2. So a 4th and 6, and here come the Giants. Tennell, good return, 7 yards. So a 41-yard punt, a 34-yard net. Ball to 42 for a 1st and 10. We'll go Barber. We'll try to stick with that running game. And it's a pickup of 4 yards. 2nd and 6 coming. We will go to triplet. Trap right. Just to give Barber a little bit of a rest. 3rd and 6 as he gains a yard. He being triplet. Well, Beckham Jr. on a short cross. Of course, Beckham now playing with the Rams. The Rams just barely made the playoffs, winning the NFC West after Arizona, who started 7-0 this year, collapsed. Pass is incomplete. It's 4th and 5. Ball is at the 47. We will punt to the sideline. And it's Lockett gaining a yard on the return, setting up the Seattle Seahawks at the 14. So the Giants could not capitalize. Probably should have thrown the ball a little more. A 1st and 10 at the 14 for Seattle. Here's Wilson throwing. It's complete to Steve Largent, who picks up 13 yards. Wilson now 19-27 for 247. He has 2 touchdown throws. A 1st and 10 from the 27. Wilson to Carlson that time. That's a gain of 11. And Wilson still with the hot hand, 20-28 now. And a 1st and 10 at the 38. See if the Giants can slow them down. A gain of 2 yards. Patton making the stop. Setting up 2nd and 8. Patton was from Mississippi. which is where Charlie Connerly, who was a championship winning quarterback for the Giants in 1956, played his college ball. Second and 8 at the 40. Of course, it's also the home was also the home of Eli Manning and Archie Manning. A third and 8 now from the 40. Incomplete. Fourth and 8, and here comes the punting unit for Seattle. And New York will get it back. Oh, that looked like a shank. Punt only goes 16 yards. Tennell could not get to it, and why would you want to get to it? Looked like Ryan punted that off the side of his foot, and it's first and 10 at the 44. So New York set up well, and it looks like they're going to do some throwing here. Slant to Powell, who's had a good game. Tittle is going to run, and he picks up 6 yards. Actually, Powell only had that one catch for 24. It's Beckham who's been doing the bulk of the pass receiving, 5 for 66. Tittle is 9 for 16 and 179 yards. Actually, Seattle had a turnover. We've only had one turnover in the game, and we've had only 4 penalties at this point. So second and 4, we're going to look for Bob Tucker here on a short crossing route. Pass complete. Number 38 has it, a gain of 12. And now the Giants in business at the Seattle 38. Might be time to go long. And we're going to go to Powell. See if we can make something happen on first down. Incomplete, deflected by Wagner, but he could not hold on to it. Wagner acted as if he got thrown a hot potato. Incomplete, and it's second and 10. Try to cut the distance down and go to Barber, off tackle right. And Barber, close to the first down, he picks up 9. And that's going to set up a third and 1 yard with 4:32 to go. We'll go Barber on an inside run in the double tight formation. Got close, he got it. A season high for Tiki Barber, but again, this is only the second game for each team. 83 yards on 14 carries. It's first and 10 with 3:50 to go. And we're going to long fly it to Beckham. Throws underneath to Barber. Barber gains 12, which is his second catch of the day. KJ Wright of Seattle has 10 tackles on the day. So he's having a good day, Mr. Barber. 160 some odd yards of total offense, 16 touches and 165 yards, 83 rushing and 82 on receptions. A first and 10 now at the Seattle 16 as the Giants try to go up by more than one score and be the first team to have done that today. Incomplete, looking for Beckham. Wagner looked like he got a hand on it, and it falls incomplete. Screen to Barber here. Second and 10 at the 16. That's incomplete. That went right through his hands. And they'll go 4 wide here, put a man in motion, and we're going to go to Don Maynard on third and 10 on the day of his passing. Thought that would be appropriate. And it looked like Maynard was in motion. That's incomplete. Sinclair will return in a few plays. They bring Cortez Kennedy in, or did they bring in Clark? Didn't catch it. Frank Clark from Michigan, 2017. So the Giants will kick and try to make it a 6-point game. Nugent, good. And he was good from how many yards? 33. Nearing the end of the third quarter, it's New York 27 and Seattle 21. Lockett back deep for Seattle on the kick. It's a touchback. Setting up first and 10 at the 20. Russell Wilson, who's having a good game, throws. It's complete to Carlson, a gain of 17. Wilson now up to 275 yards of passing. 1st and 10 at the 37. This is a give to Williams. No gain. Lewis on the tackle. Nearing the end of the third quarter with under a minute to go. 2nd and 10 now. Wilson's going to run. He'll get the first down and a pickup of 11 yards. And that's going to do it for quarter number 3. Seattle trailing by 6, but they have the ball. It's 27-21 Giants. Seattle with 329 yards of total offense. New York at 297. So the pace is slowed down from the frenetic pace that we had for the first half. Wilson, as I was saying, 21 for 31, 275 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tittle, 11 of 22, 203, 2 touchdowns. Seattle running the ball a little bit better now, 19 carries, 54 yards. The Giants have been running the best, 18 of 94 with a 5.2 average, and each team has 1 touchdown rushing and 2 touchdowns passing. The difference is the Giants have been able to kick 2 field goals, and that's where we are right now, 27-21. Ball to 48, and as we start this fourth quarter, now Seattle has the wind advantage. And Wilson throwing. Carlson, a gain of 8. Jimmy Patton with his 10th tackle of the day. It seems like we've been calling his number a lot so far. And it's 2nd and 2. Ball to 44. And this is Alexander, and I think that's his best gain of the day. 15 yards all the way down to the Giant 29. 1st and 10 from there. 14:02 to go. A penalty.
Holding. Offense. Number 71, 10-yard penalty.
That's going to wipe out a 3-yard gain for Alexander. Jones, Walter Jones, was the culprit there. Out of Florida State. Hall of Famer. And it's 1st and 20. The ball at the 39. Wilson tried to go into the numbers for John L., and that was dropped. A 2nd and 20 now. Throw and a catch by Largent, who gains 4. Largent now, 4 carries, 99 yards, so he just needs 1 more for the hundo. And it's 3rd and 16 at the 35. And the crowd chanting, defense, defense, defense. The long throw, and Largent has his 100 yards. In fact, he's got 33 more. That was a gain of 34 yards, and it beat the defensive coverage the Giants were putting up. Looked like they had at least 6 or 7 defensive backs. Wilson now goes over 300. Largent has gone over 100 with 133. And now Seattle could take the lead here, a 1st and goal at the 1. The give is to Alexander. Alexander is stuffed. Loss of 2, I should say. Lewis on the tackle for the Giants. This conglomeration of the New York teams. 2nd and goal, the ball at the 3 with 11:35 now left in the fourth quarter. It's Wilson. The give to Williams. Gain of a yard. Unger was hurt. Unger is the center, so they're going to bring in Yarno. No, that's Steve Hutchinson. We're looking for Mr. Yarno, John Yarno from Idaho, who played for Seattle circa 1980. A 3rd and goal from the 2. The disappointment here if Seattle doesn't score. Penalty.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 31, automatic. 1st down.
Terry Glenn gets called for the pass interference. Largent was the intended receiver, and Glenn was all over him like a cheap suit. 1st and goal at the 1, giving Seattle 4 more cracks at a touchdown, perhaps. Williams, no gain. They're going to look at it. He might have broke the plane.
Upon further review, the ball crossed the plane of the goal line. Touchdown. No timeout will be charged.
Touchdown, Seattle, as you heard there from our official. And we are dead even at 27 all with 10:41 left to go. That was another good drive for Seattle. 12 plays and 80 yards. So they're putting the drives together. Here's your point after try. Good by Brown. And Seattle now has that single solitary point lead at 28-27 with 10:41 left. Plenty of time for the Giants still. Here's Christie. Takes it at the goal line. He moves up past the 20, out to the 29. Harper made the tackle for Seattle. So now Y.A. Tittle, who has not had a good day, 11 of 23, 11 of 22 for 203 yards. We're going to go short pass, and we're going to look to Powell. Man in motion, which is Beckham. A dump off to Bob Tucker, who gains 8 yards. Nicely done. And we're going to go play action long to Beckham Jr. on 2nd and 2. Instead, it's a dump off to Mel Triplett, who gains 6 yards. So a first down for the Giants. And we're going to pitch it right with Tiki Barber. See if Barber could get anything going. He does not. No gain. Right on the tackle for Seattle. Setting up a 2nd and 10. Shotgun time for YA. Medium out to Art Powell. 2nd and 10. Incomplete. Setting up 3rd and 10. Giants will go 4 wide. Look for the medium passing route to Odell. See what happens here. The throw incomplete. Beckham with his 2nd drop, and some of the fans are cheering. What's up with that? So 8:14 to go. The Giants trail by a point. They're going to punt here. Here's Younts. Caught by Lockett, a fair catch at the 17. Worst case scenario here, in all likelihood, is Seattle scores a touchdown. The Giants would be 8 behind, and they could that's a one-score game. Because in the HTFL, we use the 2-point conversion. We play the sudden death overtime before they change the rules. First score wins. 1st and 10 Seattle at the 17. And Wilson's going to throw. Incomplete. That surprised me a little bit. They were looking for Largent. But Largent was not there. Largent was already 133 yards. They've used Rice as a decoy, basically. Only 2 catches to him and 32 yards. 2nd and 10, midway through the 4th quarter, or just about. Pitch to Alexander, and Alexander's going to pick up 4. Chop that distance down and make it 3rd and 6. Crowd chanting defense, defense, defense for the Giants. This New York crowd wanting something good to happen. Wilson in trouble, and he's sacked by Arnie Weinmeister. 4th and 12. And the Giants should get good field position off of this punt. Actually, it was a boomer of a punt, 51 yards to nil from the 34 to the 38. So with 6:28 left, the Giants take over. They trail by just 1 point, 28-27. We're going to screen it to Barber on 1st and 10. He's been doing good out of the backfield. And Barber will get the first down, giving him on the day, let's see, 92 yards. Let's go to cross to Beckham Jr. on 1st and 10. That's incomplete. Was looking for Beckham. Instead, the throw was to Barber, and Barber dropped it. 2nd and 10. Off tackle right, Barber, just to chop the yardage down a little bit. And that's 7 yards. Brown, the corner, undisclosed injury. He is out for the game. I think they're going to put another Brown in, which is Dave Brown. And I'm going to go right at him. It's Sauer who's matched up against him. Go for a hitch. Actually, we'll make it a medium hitch. 3rd and 3 from the 45 of Seattle. Caught by Sauer. and a gain of 16. You always try to go at a substitution for an injured player when you can, and that was nice. Gain of 16 yards for George. Tittle now 15 of 29, 243. Trap right, Tiki Barber on 1st and 10. You only need a field goal to take the lead, so you might as well just try to chew up some clock here. He gains 6 yards. Tiki is at 96 yards rushing and 92 pass receiving, so we're going to go to him on a screen. Incomplete. Almost like Seattle knew what they were doing. And on 3rd and 4 from the 23, we are going to go off tackle, keep it in the inside. Can Barber get the first? He made it, and he's got his 100 yards rushing. 4 yards to go to an even 100 on the day. 3:28 left. I'm sure the Giants will want to milk the clock here, trailing by a point. We'll go Barber on a screen. See if we can get 100 yards receiving for him. There's the throw. And Barber's got his 100 yards on reception. So he's got a double 100. 102, 100 rushing, 105 receiving. And a 1st and goal at the Giant 6. And we're going to let it run down to the 2-minute warning. Here we go, as they would say on NBC's football games, the final act, 28-27 in favor of Seattle. We're going to go triplet on a sweep. Short and tight is how the Seahawks will play it. And that looked like a busted play, and that could be disaster for Seattle, for the Giants, and it is. Cortez Kennedy picked up the fumble. Triplet was hammered by Bobby Wagner. And oh, how fates have changed in this one. They were going to triplet to give Tiki Barber a little bit of a rest. And Wagner really sucked at the triplet, forced a fumble, and Seattle now has the ball. Giants have their full complement of timeouts with 1:49 left, but they got to keep Seattle from getting a first down. Let's see if they can do it. Throw, incomplete. Maybe the Giants were being too cute there. Throw was incomplete, and if Seattle, why the hell are you throwing the ball? 2nd and 10, 1:44 left. Now the Giants could use 2 timeouts, and they'd have 1 timeout back on offense, provided they keep Seattle from a first down here. Wilson, they give to Alexander, and Alexander will pick up 3, and the Giants will burn a timeout. They have 2 left. 1:35 left to go. 28-27 in favor of Seattle. 3rd and 7 at the 23. The throw, and again, Seattle's throwing, and I don't know why they would do that. Strahan got a hand on that last throw. It's incomplete, and the Giants are still going to have plenty of time to get in field goal range. 4th and 7 at the 23. There's your punt. Now, Seattle does have the wind, and they kicked away from Tunnel, which is something the Giants failed to do in that game back in the early teens when Deshaun Jackson of the Eagles ran it back for a score on the final play. So here's your situation. Giants need a field goal. They're down a point. They're at their own 40. They have 2 timeouts left, so they're going to go over the middle to Art Powell. Throw caught by Sauer, who now has another 14 yards. And the Giants will call timeout with 1:12 to go. In fact, we're going to look to Sauer again, short out. Ball to 46 to Seattle. And Sauer catches another one. He gets out of bounds, a gain of 11. And the Giants are right back where they started from a couple of minutes ago, to quote Maxine Nightingale, slap shot. 1st and 10, ball to 35. Just in the outer periphery of field goal range, should be a 36% chance from here. And we are going to go Powell on the short out. There's the throw, incomplete. which runs the clock down just 3 seconds to a minute and 4. We're going to go back to Sauer on the medium fly route, 2nd and 10 at the 35. And that's off of Sauer's hands, and he drops it. 3rd and 10. If you're the Giants, what do you do here? We're going to go shotgun, man in motion. We're going to go medium pass. We'll have plenty of time, so we could use the middle of the field if we need to. And we're going to go to Beckham. Man in motion. The throw complete to Beckham. Out to the 20. And the no huddle. No huddle being applied here. We're going to go Sauer, short cross with 51 seconds to go. Barber with it, and he scores. Giants take the lead, and Tittle eclipses 300 yards at 3:16, and Barber with his second touchdown catching of the day to go to 125. So it's 33-28. Giants will go for 2. They'll go full house, and they are looking to see who they want. I'm sure they're going to go inside run. They're going to go to Martin, Curtis Martin, my favorite Martin. Incomplete, no good. I mean, it was a no-gainer, which invalidates the 2-point conversion. So it's 33-28. We have 26 seconds left on the clock still. I'm going to kick in an angle, try to avoid a long return. Lockett caught it outside of his 10, like about the 8-9 yard line or so. Gained 16 yards to the 24. We have 14 seconds to go. Blades and Jackson enter the game. And I'm going to go 3-1 deep zone prevent for the Giants. Just keep it in front of them. There's the long throw. Incomplete, but a marker.
Roughing the passer. Defense. Number 92. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Michael Strahan, the only NFL player to go to outer space, just tried to blast Russell Wilson into orbit, and that moves it out to the 39. We're going to play 3-1 deep zone prevent again. And hope the Seahawks don't have a miracle up their sleeves. Here we go. Last play of the game. It's a sack. Weinmeister chased him, and Mark Gastineau brought him down. He is waving his arms like he doesn't care, and New York prevails in a barn burner, 33-28. The MVP of the game was Tiki Barber with his 100 yards plus rushing and his 100 yards plus receiving. So I think that was a good choice. And it was Tittle to Barber with the 2-point conversion failing with 26 seconds to go, and that wound up being the difference. Wilson and Tittle were your quarterbacks. Tittle actually had the better day, 3 touchdowns, 316 yards, although Wilson was a bit more accurate. Your leading rusher, Tiki Barber, 100 yards on 18 carries. We had Alexander and Carlson for Seattle and Beckham Jr. for the Giants all catch 6 passes, but Barber was the yardage leader with 125. And I like to look at the tackles. Wright was your leading tackler for the Seattle defense with 12. Patton led the way, even though he's a defensive back, with 10 for the Giants. So that ends this first game of week number 2 here in the HTFL Season 2. And I will show you the next few games. Pittsburgh and Green Bay will be our next game, followed by Houston and Denver, a couple of AFL rivals. That'll be our midweek game, our hump day game. St. Louis at Las Vegas on Thursday, and Friday will be our Monday night game. I know it don't make any sense, but that's what I'm doing. Dallas and San Francisco. So I hope you, if you are watching this the evening of January 10th, I hope you enjoy the national championship game tonight. I think Alabama's going to beat Georgia. I think if you give Nick Saban any monicum of time, he's going to find a way to beat you. So Enjoy the game. Of course, we got the playoffs, real life NFL playoffs coming up over the weekend with 6 games in our first ever Monday night playoff game, which ABC and ESPN will have, and that's the Rams and the Cardinals. So until tomorrow, Lord willing, and if the creek doesn't rise, this has been Big Paul. As I was saying, we will do it all again soon. Bye bye for now, everybody.